And then how do you deal with all the coaches talking about you, Sean Gary's talking about you? How do you deal with all the immediate attention?
You know, I try not to read a lot of media stuff because I know my strengths, I know what I'm good at, but I don't really tend to read any of that. But you know, I just keep my composure and I just play my game.
What was it like for a guy like Rashawn to immediately welcome you, take you under his wing?
Yeah, coming in here, getting coached, and being mentored by one of the best D linemen in the country is definitely something that you want to go into. And you know, I'm really blessed to have the opportunity from Rashawn and from all of his coaching that he's done for me. So yeah.
What have you picked up from him?
A lot of little stuff, you know, in meetings. I'd always whisper to him, ask him some questions about technique or even like the technique for the play and stuff like that. But he's done a lot for me.
You guys hang out outside of football at all?
I've seen him a few times, but no, we haven't hung out.
Lawrence said he said you're going to be an All-American here. Lawrence Marshall said that. I mean, to hear a guy say that about you, you've played in 4 games. I mean, to hear a guy say that kind of stuff about you, what is it like?
Yeah, it's cool, but you know, I got a lot to work on.
Or 3? How many? Have you been in 3 games? 4 games?
4. Yeah.
Does your dad remind you that he's already an All-American?
Yeah. All the time.
But does he? I mean, has he set the bar in your mind? Has he set the bar high for you? Not him.
I set the bar high for myself. I think. You know, obviously him being an All-American here. Obviously, I know there's a high standard for me. I think, but you know, I set my own expectations for myself, and I set the bar for myself. So.
Are you surprised you're playing this much?
I think I worked hard to get here. So
I guess you're not surprised, right?
obviously going into this good a defensive line, it's a little bit surprising, but I think I'm doing fine.
When did you get word that you were going to be in the rotation? And what was your reaction?
Probably a week before Notre Dame, but I really didn't know how many reps I was getting. He just said I was going to be in the rotation, but I was pretty ecstatic.
That feeling stepping on
Yeah.
at Notre Dame Stadium, what was that like? What was going through your mind?
Yeah, well, actually, my first play, it was like Rashawn was tired. He ran off the field, and I went in there like real fast. And honestly, I didn't even know the play. I didn't get the call in time, so I was kind of freaking out a little bit. And yeah, so my first play wasn't ideal, but you know, it was definitely pretty cool being out there.
It's been like working with Coach Madison. What makes him a good coach?
I think he really just focused on little things, you know, like we get marked down for a bad play, you know, even if we make the play, but it's still a bad play if we take a bad first step. So it's like so many little things that he really focuses on. So yeah.
First year of school, how much is your head still spinning?
Yeah, during camp it was pretty bad, you know, 'cause we had school and camp going on. That was probably the worst, but it's starting to calm down a little bit.
You making that first big play, was there a play where you're like, all right, I belong here, or anything like that?
I think it was kind of like a gradual thing, you know. As I'm out there more, I kind of get a feel for the game more and more. I wouldn't say it's one certain play that's put me in it, but yeah.
How comfortable are you moving inside, outside?
Pretty comfortable, you know. It's yeah, I would say I'm pretty comfortable. It's nothing too different, you know. Obviously, it's different from the high school level, but yeah, I think I've gotten used to it so far. But I still have a lot more learning to do.
When you got here, because you mentioned, you know, I mean, cracking the 2 deep on this D line. When you got here, you knew what the defensive line and what it had been. I guess, what were your impressions from before you got here, and then when you did arrive and saw it up close?
Yeah, I knew I had to work hard to break the 2 deep, and that was one of my goals, just to get in the 2 deep and get in the rotation and get playing a little bit. But yeah, obviously Michigan's had the top D line the past 3. Honestly, with Coach Madison there, they've always had the top D line, and I knew how hard it was going to be to break in the 2 deep. But yeah, it's a great feeling.
Quiddy said he's preparing for when Chase and Rashawn aren't going to be here. Do you feel like you're doing the same right now?
Yeah, especially I would say last game against Nebraska. You know, me and Quiddy were in there a lot. I would say, yeah, that was a little bit of preparation, I think, for when they're gone.
Sean mentioned something about they and I think he said to Angela, something about the coaches wanted to put you in, he wasn't going to say no, or something like, do you remember that exchange?
Not
I think
quite.
it was right after halftime, I think, and he mentioned something, the coaches came up to him and said that they wanted to get you some reps, and he was like, well, I wasn't going to tell him no.
Yeah, I do kind of remember that. He had a face. He made a face, but it wasn't too happy. But I think he kind of just let me go in there, so it was all good.
You said you have such high expectations. What are the things that you're like, all right, I got to get better here, here, and here?
Honestly, all aspects of my game. Just I need to work on everything all around. It's you can never be perfect here, obviously, at the collegiate level. So I have to work on all of the aspects of the game.
So level of fun, guys, I mean, you're a freshman, I mean, to do the, kind of friendly razzing, that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah, that happened too.
I mean, what was your welcome like when you got here?
I think some people welcome the freshmen, some people, feel a little bit threatened sometimes. So, yeah, they're a little bit mean to the freshmen. But, yeah, it was a pretty easy transition, I would say, being a freshman here.
Has this been what you thought it'd be? Your dad played at Michigan. You grew up a fan.
Yeah,
it's up to
yeah.
that.
This is the plan. The plan's going the way it's supposed to go so far. So, yeah.
Couple more. Where have you made the biggest strides as far as your game since arriving, and how much weight did you gain in this offseason?
I gained about 15 pounds. I came in at 255, and then some of the strides, just technique. Like it's a lot different at the college level. It's a lot harder. So I had a hard transition for technique-wise coming here because camp was a little bit hard the first 2 weeks, but I eased into it and I finally kind of got my grasp on everything, and I think I'm starting to get the feel of the game.
And you mentioned the high bar. Do you ever have to maybe stop and tell yourself, like, hey, I'm still a freshman? Do you have to kind of stop and pause a little bit, or are your expectations just that high?
No. I just try to be the best player that I can be. I don't really set a bar. I just be the best. I'd be the best that I can be. So